If you write one page a day for 6 months, it doesn't change your life in the way you expect. There's no sudden clarity, no dramatic transformation, no moment where everything finally makes sense. And that's exactly why this works. Because what changes is not loud enough to announce itself. It shows up in smaller ways you only notice if you've been paying attention. When I started writing one page a day, I thought the benefit would be in what I wrote. The insights, the reflections, the understanding. But 6 months in, I realized it wasn't about the pages, it was about the relationship I had built with myself through them. Something became steady, not my thoughts, not my emotions, but my willingness to sit with them. Every day, no matter what kind of day it was, some days the page was clear. I could see what I was feeling. I could follow my thoughts. Other days it felt repetitive, like I was writing the same thing in different words. And some days I didn't want to write at all. Those pages were shorter, more resistant, but I still wrote them. And that consistency did something I didn't expect. It removed the idea that writing depends on how you feel. It became something I returned to regardless of clarity, motivation, or mood. And that changed how I experienced my own thoughts. I stopped expecting them to always make sense. I stopped needing every page to feel meaningful. I allowed things to be unfinished. And over time, that created a kind of mental space. Not because everything became clearer, but because I wasn't trying to force clarity all the time. There's a line from Joan Didion that stayed with me. I don't know what I think until I write it down. At first, that sounds like writing leads to understanding, but after doing this for months, it feels slightly different. It's not that writing gives you answers, it gives you access. Access to what you're already thinking but haven't fully noticed yet. And that access builds slowly. You begin to recognize your patterns earlier, not after something has already affected you, but while it's happening. You catch a thought midway and think, I've written about this before. That moment changes your relationship with it. You're no longer completely inside it, you're aware of it. And awareness, repeated over time, starts to shift how you respond. Not immediately, but gradually. 6 months of writing also shows you something else. You don't need perfect conditions to understand yourself. You don't need long hours or the right mindset. You need consistency. Because understanding doesn't come from intensity, it comes from returning again and again. There were days when writing felt almost pointless, like nothing new was coming up. But those days mattered as much as the clearer ones, because they taught me something important, that not every day needs to be meaningful for the practice to matter. If you think about it, most of life is not made of breakthrough moments, it's made of ordinary days. And if your practice only exists for the exceptional ones, it won't stay with you. But if it exists through the ordinary, it becomes part of how you live. So maybe the question isn't what will change if I write every day. Maybe it's this. What might I start noticing about myself if I actually stayed with this for 6 months? 6 months is not a short time, but it's not so long either. If you want, tell me. If you've ever tried to stay consistent with something like this, what made you stop? Was it time, energy, or the feeling that it wasn't doing enough? Because sometimes the change you're looking for isn't something you feel immediately. It's something that builds quietly until one day you realize you're not relating to yourself the same way anymore.